movie shots so famous that their notoriety spans decades, even a century plus, from the rocket landing in the moon's eye in 1902's A Trip to the Moon, to the Joker hanging his hat out a police car window in 2008's The Dark Knight. These are shots so recognizable that even people who have never seen the films themselves know the shots. Who doesn't recognize Scarlett O'Hara contemplating tomorrow? Louis and Rick forging a beautiful friendship, Charles Foster Kane mumbling Rosebud as he dies, or Elliot and E.T. taking their magical flight. But just as writers take inspiration from the authors who moved them, paying homage to them in their own works, filmmakers do the same, most often in film shots that honor the visuals created by their predecessors. Here are 10 famous film shots that even casual moviegoers recognize, probably without realizing that they are inspired by or even copies of shots and scenes from the past. Everybody recognizes certain shots from Stanley Kubrick's 1980 classic. Jack Nicholson goes insane as the winter caretaker of a remote hotel, eventually attempting to kill his wife and son. One of the most famous sequences is Nicholson using an axe to get through a locked bathroom door, behind which his wife is taking refuge. Kubrick, acknowledged by many as the greatest director of all time, was influenced by others the same as anybody else. And here he pays tribute to The Phantom Carriage, a 1921 Swedish silent film. Director Victor Sjöström also focuses on themes of alcoholism and violence as the character David, played by Sjöström himself, attempts to get to his wife by axing through a wooden door. The influence on Kubrick is clear.
Here's Johnny!
The opening minutes of Steven Spielberg's 1975 blockbuster are some of the most famous in cinema history, highlighted by the character Chrissy Watkins being attacked and killed by a shark. Spielberg uses his camera to give us the point of view of the predator, lurking unseen below the victim. But Spielberg clearly took inspiration from the 1954 Universal monster classic Creature from the Black Lagoon. As Julia Adams' character Kay Lawrence goes swimming in the titular lagoon, the creature stalks her from below. Spielberg has acknowledged that the sequence made a significant impression on him when he saw it in theaters as a 7-year-old. George Lucas's 1977 classic shattered box office records. No surprise considering he borrows timeless storytelling elements dating to antiquity, even as he utilizes various shots from the films that influenced him. One of them is the scene of the Millennium Falcon entering the Death Star as it is pulled in by a tractor beam. The shot, used to emphasize the sheer size of the space station, echoes Stanley Kubrick's 2001: A Space Odyssey from 1968. Kubrick's shot shows a shuttle maneuvering to dock with a more traditional space station, and the grand scale, utilizing cutting-edge special effects, led Lucas to mirror it. The 1992 adaptation of the classic vampire novel remains Francis Ford Coppola's most successful film post-Apocalypse Now, financially and critically. It is a visual feast, and among the most famous shots is Dracula rising from his coffin in surreal fashion. But Coppola is borrowing from and paying homage to the oldest vampire film in existence. F.W. Murnau directed 1922's Nosferatu, featuring arguably the most terrifying vampire in cinema history, and his otherworldly emergence from his coffin set the standard for everything that followed.
Why do they fill these boxes with earth?
Brian De Palma's 1987 film about Elliot Ness's pursuit of mobster Al Capone features a scene so famous that it was later parodied in 1994's Naked Gun 33 1/3, The Final Insult. Kevin Costner's Ness and his partner stake out Chicago's Union Station, and a baby carriage tumbles down a staircase in dramatic slow motion during a shootout. De Palma, however, took the idea and the shot straight from Sergei Eisenstein's 1925 classic Battleship Potemkin, arguably the greatest of all silent films. As civilians are massacred on the Odessa steps, a baby carriage symbolically tumbles down. Of all things Quentin Tarantino, his love of martial arts films is perhaps most evident, and he goes all out to honor the genre and, in particular, the legendary Bruce Lee in this 2003 offering. Uma Thurman's The Bride character is hell-bent on revenge after a group of assassins attempts to kill her at her wedding rehearsal. After emerging from a coma, her journey of vengeance eventually takes her to Japan at a meeting with the Crazy 88. The fight is a direct homage to Lee and his classic 1972 Hong Kong film, Fist of Fury. Lee, in taking on an entire dojo of Japanese fighters, exacts what he thinks is a form of justice. As another tribute, Tarantino has Thurman wear the yellow tracksuit that Lee donned in his final film, Game of Death. At the end of Steven Spielberg's 1981 adventure classic, Indiana Jones can't get a straight answer as to where the Ark of the Covenant has been taken after he has secured it for the US government. It turns out it has been put into a crate and put into a warehouse with thousands of other anonymous items, a treasure lost amid endless clutter. It is Spielberg's nod to Orson Welles' 1941 masterpiece, Citizen Kane. In Kane, a reporter spent the entire film searching for Rosebud, the supposed key to understanding the larger-than-life man. Famously, it is a sled lost amid the clutter of his life and mistakenly destroyed, cinema's ultimate irony. Interestingly, Spielberg was the owner of an original sled used in the film, which he donated to the Academy Museum of Motion Pictures in 2018. In Spike Lee's 1989 magnum opus, the character of Radio Raheem delivers a powerful monologue about love triumphing over hate. The message is central to the film's thesis about the struggle between the forces in terms of race relations. Lee complicates the positive message by having the words molded into a pair of brass knuckles worn by Bill Nunn. Love may ultimately emerge victorious, but it likely won't happen without violence. It's a maddening paradox. Lee was inspired as a student by Charles Laughton's 1955 film, The Night of the Hunter, in which Robert Mitchum plays a murderer masquerading as a preacher. Hate and love are tattooed on his fingers, and although he conveys the same message about love emerging triumphant, he does not believe it and represents the idea's antithesis.
I mean, it looks like the right hand love is finished. But hold on, stop the presses, the right hand's coming back. Yeah, he got the left hand on the ropes now.
Hut!
dog loves a winning. Yes, sirree. It's love that won. And old left-hand hate is down for the count.
In Robert Zemeckis' time travel classic from 1985, Christopher Lloyd's Doc Brown must send Michael J. Fox's Marty McFly back to the future, using the power of a lightning bolt striking a clock tower. As a series of tense mishaps threaten to foil them, Lloyd is forced to climb to the clock face, and he ends up clinging to the hands after slipping, hanging precariously over the ledge. It echoes one of the most famous stunts in film history, in which Harold Lloyd hangs from the hands of a clock after being forced to scale a skyscraper in 1923's Safety Last. A model foreshadowing the event in Zemeckis' film but also pays homage to Lloyd can be seen in the opening credit sequence. Francis Ford Coppola's 1972 crime epic is routinely lauded as one of the greatest films ever made, and it features one of the most memorable closing shots of all time, when a door shuts on Diane Keaton's Kay, wife of Al Pacino's Michael Corleone, and ends the movie. Michael has just lied to her about who he is and what he does, and she is shut out of his world, doomed to be an outsider. It's a brilliant shot with great thematic weight, but Coppola is borrowing from and honoring John Ford's 1956 masterpiece, The Searchers. In that film, John Wayne's Ethan Edwards is a former Confederate soldier and racist who spends more than 5 years searching for his niece, who has been captured by Comanche warriors. When he finds her and returns her to American society, he does not enter the house on the frontier with everyone else. Time has passed him by, and the door that closes on him shuts him out of a changed world forever.